We're going to solve a few problems with inequalities. The main thing we need to remember is with an inequality, if you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip the inequality sign. If you want to know why, I put another video on that same screen so you can see the reasoning behind that. Okay, when I do this, the inequality is just like an equal sign. Whatever I do to the left side, I do to the right side. My goal when I do this is to get all my variables on the left and all my numbers on the right. This is a variable, it's going to stay. The 2 is not, so I'm going to subtract 2 to its like term. That cancels, and I have 3x greater than or equal to 7x minus 3. Now I need to get the 7x over there, so I'm going to do the opposite and subtract 7x. Subtract 7x. That will cancel, and I have negative 4x greater than or equal to negative 3. Next step, I'm going to divide both sides by a negative 4. When I divide or multiply by a negative, I flip my inequality, and I have x is less than or equal to 3/4. If the answer asks for interval notation, then I'm going to change it. If it asks for inequality notation, there's the answer. All right, I like to graph things. If I was to graph 3/4, I would have a closed circle and it's pointing to the left because everything is less than. Interval notation, the furthest to the left is negative infinity, and that's always a parentheses. The furthest to the right is 3/4 with a bracket because it's closed and it includes that number. Let's try another problem. Same thing we have to look at here. First thing we're going to do is distribute this 2. 2x plus 6 is greater than 4x minus 1. I'm going to subtract the 6 to the other side. So I have 2x is greater than 4x minus 7. Next step, I'm going to move this guy over here, so I'm going to subtract 4x to both sides. So I have negative 2x is greater than negative 7. Next step, divide both sides by negative 2. When I divide by a negative, I flip my inequality. And x is less than a positive 7/2. Inequality notation. If I'm going to graph this, I know 7/2 is to the right of 0. I'm going to have an open circle and it's going to go this way. So the furthest to the left is negative infinity. The furthest to the right is 7/2 with an open parentheses. Last problem. If I'm going to do this, I need a least common multiple. And in this case, it's going to be 15. So this first term, I need to multiply by 5 top and bottom. The second one, I need to multiply by 3 top and bottom. And the last one by 3 top and bottom. And when I do that, I can get rid of my denominator because they're all 15. So 5x minus 1 plus 3x plus 2 less than or equal to 3 times 3, which is 9. Let's go ahead and distribute. So I have 5x minus 5, and we're going to distribute this, plus 3x plus 6, less than or equal to 9. Next step. Combine like terms, because everything on the left side I want to combine. So that's going to give me 8x. And these are like terms, plus 1, less than or equal to 9. Next step, let's subtract the 1 to both sides. So I have 8x less than or equal to 8. This is working out nice. Divide both sides by 8. I do not flip the inequality because I did not divide by a negative, and x is less than 1. There's our inequality notation. Interval notation, here's 0, here's 1, closed circle, and it's going to the left. So interval notation goes from negative infinity to positive 1 with a bracket.